Hello, everybody. How are you on this last day of November 2025? Here, let me adjust you just a tad. Well, been a while since we saw our BNSF led coal trains here, but they're back. And it's good to see you guys and gals on this last day of November 2025. Memories of Turkey Day are quickly diminishing because Santa Claus, Christmas, and December are all on their way just that quick. It's amazing. Tomorrow is December 1st already. I have no, and when I say no, I mean no idea where 2025 has gone. Yesterday, it was Halloween, literally. And I was having fun telling everybody about rail moments and handing out candy, and we had production 6 there with the lights on, all lit up, and telling people about rail moments, and poof, it was just Thanksgiving. Mrs. S, she outdid herself. I gotta tell you, I'm so proud of her. My wife made Thanksgiving just incredible. She thought it out, decorated the house like we were the mall, inside, outside, putting the lights up at night, you name it. She was on top of it. So we were ready for Thanksgiving without any question. Menu prepared in advance. She started cooking on Tuesday, putting things up, had everything, did all her shopping, had it all done by Sunday and Monday. And we only forgot one thing out of the whole weekend, and that was the vanilla for my sweet potato casserole. But it was great. Threw a couple extra marshmallows in. Never knew the vanilla was missing. So we are trackside here on a day that Tara and Mama Bear are not going to get a sunset. We're on the east side of the tracks. Don't have to argue about whether or not we're going to shoot into the sun, because there is no sun. So, it's been raining up till now. First, we pretty much were able to go live. Stop by and saw Austin, my son. He lives here in Dalton. Weather forecast all week. Brr. I think the high any day is 45. We're going to have rain and chilly temperatures to welcome December 2025 into our world. Back to work tomorrow after 4 days off. Ventured out to Best Buy. Woo! There was a line, even at 6:30 at night, but what I wanted was $60 off. Mrs. S has my list for Christmas. There's 2 things on it. My second lens for this new, exciting, cool, live stream specific or specifically designed camera that we are now using, the Mevo from Logitech. And on that list is the speed gun y'all requested, and a second lens for a little closer in. This one's so powerful I can read the small print on the windows over at the old freight depot. And that's where we are, here in Dalton, Georgia, on the historic W&A line, Western and Atlantic. And yes, you're right, that's where the great locomotive chase took place, right through here. And for those of you that watched the video recently, where CSX followed that path with the OCS led by 1776, where they had 30 plus Medal of Honor recipients on board, a presidential awarded medal, the highest that you can get. And there are 60 plus still alive today. They brought that train through and we filmed it. If you've not seen it, it's really cool. So special kudos to CSX for doing that. Medal of Honor Museum is located in Chattanooga, and the reason being is because the Raiders were the first Medal of Honor recipients awarded that prestigious medal. Now Andrews, the leader of the raid, was a civilian. It's thought to be he was a double spy. Since he was not in the military, he did not receive it. If you like to rail fan, go by the National Cemetery there on Holtzclaw, and you will see a beautiful monument up on the hillside overlooking the train tracks where the TVRM dinner train and excursion train runs, and some of the Raiders are buried in a circle around that massive monument. And if you've never been to Dalton, we're just a few miles off Interstate 75. You got a porch 200 feet long with furniture. When the Welcome Center's open, you have restrooms. The old Southern Pullman car is located here. We have two depots in Dalton. One is the passenger depot, and we'll spin around here in a little bit. You can see the old control tower, and right on the other side of it is the passenger depot that was located here. Norfolk Southern, Atlanta North District. That was the track our coal train was on. That way north, this way south. Atlanta that way. After CSX goes south, it goes to Resaca, down to Cartersville, Cartersville, and then on down towards Marietta. That way up to Waxahachie outside of Chattanooga. And for Atlanta North District, if they are going south, that coal train will be headed over to Rome, be there in about an hour, and then makes the bend back towards Atlanta, passes through Austell. That way, Norfolk Southern goes on up to Varnell and Cohutta. If you're in Cohutta, stop at the Country General Store and try one of their sandwiches or one of their pizzas. Both are fantastic. And that's where the little red caboose is now. Located trackside there in Cohutta. Used to be over at Prater's Mill. So we're out till dark. Wherever you are, if it's raining, hang out with us. We're not supposed to have any rain for a couple hours. Foggy, heavy cloud cover. Does tend to mess with the MiFi for signal. when we have clouds like this. But we'll see how this works today. Oops, I was upside down there. Now you're back right side up. So I guess that's kind of it. Cremo Drive-In is open with the windows all painted up. Merry Christmas. We got Santa here on the tailgate today, thanks to Mrs. S. He's all lit up. So, yesterday we didn't make it out because we couldn't find anything to go see. There were more trains Thanksgiving morning than there were all day yesterday. I mean, there was just nothing. Our two heritage locomotives that we would have liked to see, the Lackawanna, came through in the dark, and the Tag came through in the dark. Lackawanna came south from Knoxville, Tag came north from Atlanta, and all we got to do was see everybody's pictures that caught them earlier. So, sit back, relax. I think I'm going to grab an iced tea here at Cremo, but before I walk over there, we'll just do kind of a little lay of the land for you. Once we do spin back that way, you'll be able to see all the signal bridges and signal towers for all the tracks northbound, where right now we got enough red. Looks like Santa's suit in the distance there. You're going to see the CSX signal tower, the NS signal bridge. You're going to see another set of lights further up that are for the NS tracks and the CSX tracks. Oh, there's a pretty Raptor. Somebody put some dollars in that truck. Love a good Ford. That's what Production Unit 6 is. Many of you have asked, why do we call it Production Unit 6? Because of the 14 units that we have used, this was the 6th one that was used. Production Unit 6 was bought specifically for train chasing. Last week, 8 days ago, we saw the Santa train with CSX, and again, another kudos to CSX. If you've never experienced being on the line for the Santa train, you must. This was the 83rd year of it. It's a family tradition. It's a family meaning. And it's just something that's incredible. If you experience with the folks that live in Virginia and Kentucky and then finish up in Bristol, you'll understand. It's like some of those videos that you watch when you're sitting there doing nothing mindlessly, flipping through the YouTube videos, and one just strikes your heart and gives you that tear. That's what the Santa train does. When you talk to the folks that are from there, just what that means. Great-grandpa, grandpa, grandpa's son, and the current child, generations have shared that experience together, and it's very, very, very meaningful. We didn't get to stop by Man Farms this year, but we'll see you guys next year. I need to send you all a Christmas card. Most hospitable folks I've ever met up there, and they have a great fruit, vegetable stand. They work hard. We met them 3 years ago, just super people. They let us use their field to film. So everybody, welcome trackside. Good to see y'all. Good to have you here. I'm going to spin. We'll take a little, 280 of the area. We're parked off of Morris Street at Depot Street on the east side of the tracks. There used to be an additional track here, but they tore it out. Never knew that till John told us. Parking deck we use is over there. So let's just kind of take a spin, see the neighborhood, sit back, and hope we have more trains than we can count today. Been kind of slow up till now, but it's good to see y'all. Well, hey there. Let me see. Quint in the Mississippi Rail Van. Good to see you. Hello, John. Nate, always good to see you. Hope you had a fantastic, just a super fantastic Halloween. Alan sent me a message. Let me take a lookster. Alright, that second track over that you see that is the W&A for CSX. And yes, in 1862, the General rolled right through here. Next track over, Norfolk Southern. And on the far side that's kind of behind that track is a side track for NS. And you all saw the local when we were down here testing out the fact that Casey has figured out how to drone live with you guys. So when we get him for a little bit of time, we're going to do that with him. He was going to go up to Virginia with me, but got incredibly sick, as y'all discussed with him last week on Best of the Rails. And again, you are looking south at that point. There's a CSX sighting. An old school bus with no windows. There's your NS line. There's the CSX line, the middle of the three there. And Crescent City Tavern, where Alan loves to hang out. And let me tell you, if you want a fantastic burger or incredible wings, right there is where you want to go. We're not connected or sponsored in any way by the Crescent City Tavern, but let me tell you, I love to go there for dinner when we're down here live. There's the Crescent City Pullman car for the Oak Southern line here in the parking lot. Right beside the Dalton Visitor and Welcome Center, where there is over 100 feet of covered patio, plus a longer section. There's some Civil War memorabilia, Sherman's neckties, the twisted rails on display, restrooms, everything you need. Disc golf, 299 yard. I believe 99 feet, I'm sorry. Courses set there. And right dead center in the middle of your picture, where you see the white 2-level brick building, that's the old control tower. And John, you have any questions about that? John can help you. That's where they used to throw the switches from. And right behind that is the old passenger depot that they're currently doing some restoration work in, where the old Dalton Depot restaurant used to be and bar. TJ used to operate there. They had a train that ran inside. As you can see, we're at the 99 mile post for CSX. The bird cam, just to put it in perspective for you, is at the 122.8, so we'll just call it 123. So 24 miles north of us is where you'll find the bird cam. As you can see, we're all red, facing north. There's the signal bridge for NS. Those 4 lights up top. And then right on the other side of that railroad car on the signal tower, 2 more red lights, red over red, which is the CSX right before the diamond, where CSX crosses over, just on the other side of the 99 mile post. So hopefully we'll get a CSX train and you'll be able to see that happen, where the track goes from the right side across to the left side. everybody. Alan just pointed out Norfolk Southern green for 174. NS 174, Alan said to tell y'all, has a pair of Canadian nationals bringing up the rear. So, NS 174, northbound, headed towards us. Going to bring us a pair of Canadian nationals on the rear of that train, so y'all get ready, get set. It's kind of like getting Cracker Jacks. You open the box, you know the train's the train, the Cracker Jack is the Cracker Jack, but when you get this surprise, some point in that box, you never know what it is, and that's why the next train is always cool, because there's always something of interest. So, a pair of Canadian nationals on their way right now, headed to us. So, I'm excited. How about you? What a way to start December one day early. Thanks, Alan. Y'all listen for that horn. Yeah, we're adding a side holder here, so if you get a little bit of vibration or noise, my apologies. Gonna run a short of our Canadian nationals, so again, excuse the movement while we get situated here. As we throw on another camera. Where you can see double greens for NS on the Atlanta North District track. as we mount the camera. There, we're all set. As soon as we have horn, we'll spin and look south as 174 makes its approach towards us. I'll see if I can't make a sign real quick. It says, "Hi, Andrew." 174 and 126. Yeah, that's what everyone's talking about. All right. 174 and 126. those of you just jumping on, couple things. Hey, Crash. Where are you at today? We got 174 coming our way. He's passing Davis, I understand. And on the rear, trailing are a pair of Canadian Nationals. Also, I just got notice. My friend Brian with Train Nut Productions, we made the trip along with Jesse from Whistleboard Productions on up to Virginia last weekend for the Santa train. And I see, just got notification that Brian is with Train Nut Productions. He just released his Santa train video. So make sure you take a moment and check it out. Matt, if you're on, a special thank you. Matt Murphy up in where we met, up in the Harriman area. Thanks for all the pictures this week and all the notifications and everything you caught. Big help to us down at this end when we're waiting on something. So, hello to Matt, north of us, quite a ways. So, y'all get ready. I'm going to stay quiet so we can hear the horn since we have a low cloud cover. We are going to probably be able to hear that horn way ahead of time. So let's go ahead and swing south while we await NS 174 with a pair of Canadian Nationals trailing. Also, tonight's show, Best of the Rails, Casey is going to be in the air. So we will not be doing the show tonight, and he is traveling to the Gulf Coast. So, everything that you guys have sent in, continue to, and we'll see everything next Sunday. We'll just have a double show. But Casey is up in the air, and as you all know, Mike and technology do not go in the same sentence. So for Mike to do the show without Casey, that's like Laurel trying to do a joke without Hardy. So let's go ahead and spin south and listen for 174. We just heard him. 174 is clear. Well, for those of you north of us, Larnell, Cohutta, you better get ready. And one of our spotters to the south said 26C will be following behind 174 with the two Canadian National units up front in the second and third position on the consist. Y'all get those cameras ready. And if you're not reading the notes in the chat, John said to tell you all those Canadian National locos are SD70M-2. SD70M-2 units. Snap a little picture here. 26C with UPS trailers. Well, as y'all see, we are currently red on the northbound signals. The two by the rail car are for CSX, and on the signal bridge, those are NS, and down at the far end, there's a little bit of both. We just grabbed an iced tea over at Cremo. Love their milkshakes, and boy do they make an incredible morning biscuit. Woo! Al and I were here a few weeks ago on Friday. I was full and stuffed at the same time. So make sure when you rail fan here in Dalton, Georgia, stop by where it says Merry Christmas. The candles are in the window and the milkshakes are made by hand. As we go back to the track, here on the CSX siding, they dropped those cars off the other day. Anybody know what the placard 2055 is? Obviously flammable. Haven't heard anything out of the local today. And those two red lights you see beside that car are the northbound W&A signal tower lights. $25,670 U.S. gallons. And right there is the 99-mile post. Yep, got a car right in the middle of that when I went to adjust to it. There is the 99-mile post. And then as you see down at the far end, those are various signals. Far left, NS. Middle set, NS. Far right, CSX. And excuse me, far left, I believe is CSX. My correction there. And then there on the signal bridge, all NS up top. Here at the crossing, Well, for those of you not reading the chat, Crash said to let you know that 2055 is styrene monomer, if I'm pronouncing that right, which is used to make various plastics and synthetic rubbers on that placard. Thanks, Crash. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but styrene, monomer, monomer. Hope I got that right. So in case y'all wanted to know, that's what's in that train car. Gonna guess it has something to do with making carpet. And as y'all see, in case you didn't read Crash's note, we do have green on NS on the Atlanta North District. And you can see he's lined all the way through Dalton. are still holding on our green for NS northbound here in Dalton, Georgia. I love it. Stocking hats, gloves, and shorts. As you can see, it is getting a little darker here because those lights are for sure getting brighter as we're holding on a green. Track segment clear all the way through downtown Dalton. As you see the green here on the closest signal bridge and then down on the signal tower on the Atlanta North District. look what's on the end of this coal train. BNSF up front, whiskers on the back. As they roll across the diamond, rock and roll to be exact. Now, kind of a cool and interesting thing. Let me zoom out first. Alan sent me a picture of 9249 crossing the Cam in Austell earlier today. And if you noticed, on the engineer side, there is a huge hunk out of the shoulder of that locomotive. And where there would normally be orange paint and whatnot, whatever he hit super hard. So let's see, the time on that train was at 1:38. So Alan sent us a picture. That northbound coal train that you just saw, empty drag coal train, passed the Austell Cam 1:38 p.m. today with a broken right shoulder. I guess you could almost call it a chip off the old block, because boy, that corner of that cab up front hit it whatever hard. And now at 4:45, actually a tad less, he rolls through Dalton. So just a little bit more, a little over 3 hours. We'll just call it 3.5 hours. So that tells you there has not been much in his way for a coal train to roll Austell to here in 3.5 hours. That is rocking. And like I said, it's been a while since we saw the BNSF coal trains through here, but they are now back. And I know, and again, my memory is a little sketched. They were doing some updating revitalization at one of the coal plants, power plants. I forget the whole story. Maybe Alan, if you're on, you can refresh my memory why we haven't seen the BNSF coal trains for a while, but they're back, as y'all saw today. All right, we're back looking north, where if you're going to bet on a color, right now the color you want to pick is red, because we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 red lights facing us. But don't despair. When you got red looking at you, there could be green on the other side. So, we're back to the track. We're going to be here for, another 45 minutes or so. Mrs. S is deciding the dinner plan. And like I said, I told y'all earlier, we had a fantastic Thanksgiving. She had the house so decorated. It was so cool. And now, all the fall of Thanksgiving is coming down because Mrs. S is fast and furious. And after it, Christmas decorations get to go up now that Thanksgiving is over. No Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving, but it's game on as soon as Thanksgiving is over. And her office, whoa, she has got the Grinch thing going on in her office that she's getting ready too. So, she rocking, she rolling, and I'll have to get y'all a picture of her office and include it on one of the posts we send out. And Andy made a note, looks a little cold out there. You know what? He's right. My little paws are getting just a little bit chilly. It's very damp cold today. So if anybody's trackside, if you know what's coming our way, don't be bashful. Share it with us. And we have a little trivia set in by Alan. A little coal train background here. And again, this was set in by Alan for y'all. NS and BNSFF coal trains originate from various regions, including the Powder River Basin in Wyoming and Montana, which is a major source for BNSF. Other origins for BNSF include Colorado, Illinois, New Mexico, and North Dakota. And chipping in with the coal business, coal hauling business, Norfolk Southern also operates coal trains, primarily originating from mines in the Appalachian region of Pennsylvania and West Virginia, where we were. So, a little cool update for y'all about coal trains from Alan. Thank you, Alan. Speaking of coal trains, got a note. There's a northbound coal train for CSX down by Cartersville at 4 o'clock today, so about 40 minutes ago. We're going to be with y'all till 5:40 tonight, 5:40 p.m. Then we're going to pack her up and head on to dinner with Mrs. S, unless it starts raining before then, which is possible according to the weatherman. As y'all see, we have an incredibly super low ceiling cover tonight, so the sound should really echo. If this was Halloween, it would be a spooky night. Looking at Heritage app, see if anything's coming our way. 4005 went through Trenton past AGS. As y'all know, Lackawanna went through here last night. Went through Chattanooga, I should say, coming down from Knoxville. Tucker, Georgia, Chesapeake and Ohio, 1869 through Tucker, Georgia, just a little bit ago. So, nothing overly exciting noted that it's coming our way. But again, you never know. And that's why it's so much fun to rail fan. It's like opening that Cracker Jack that we always talk about. You know there's a surprise. You're just not sure what it is. Very quiet today over at the Crescent City Tavern. Nobody over having wings, cheeseburgers, or hanging out to watch their favorite NFL game. So you don't have to fight for a parking spot today. You can park real close to the door. reading up on the notes, I was doing a little housekeeping in production 6. Gee, Nate, I hate to hear that Tennessee lost. Uh-oh. I love the consolation, though, that Vanderbilt is from Tennessee, so I guess that's okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. Green Bean, you're spot on that coal train. Headed back to Montana. And it did have 2 NS on the rear. So, Green Bean, all of your forecasts are absolutely correct. So I think it's time for you to give us the 6 winning lottery numbers. It's a long ways to haul a bunch of coal. You know that, you guys? Red Clay Park, for those of you that come to our area, make sure while you're out rail fanning and in our area that you visit Red Clay Park. Very, very interesting place to go. You'll love it. Green Bean, we're looking for that CSX northbound coal train. Anybody know where he is? Y'all just yell. Cohutta District. Yeah, if you're lucky enough to see an MOW train out there, or you know there's one coming, rush out there, because not very often do you get to see something going up the I-line. Thanks, Green Bean. No rain in sight means we are here for another 38, well, excuse me, that a little bit longer than that. We are here, yeah, another 38 minutes in Dalton, over by Cremo. If anybody on has any railroad questions at all, historical, whatever, operational, there are enough folks on here that I don't think you can stump any of them on any questions you have. So anybody have a question whatsoever, please shout it out. Somebody's going to get you an answer. And I got a little bit of music playing there. Somebody in the Christmas spirit. Good old Bull's Gap. There's an interesting place. I stopped by there last Sunday. Matter of fact, a week ago today. No, last Saturday. 8 days ago. Boy, was that an interesting spot. I'll just leave it at that. All right. Nate is about 10 miles north of us, and he's up by Control Point Long. And he's telling us we have a NS southbound headed our way. Hi, Eugene. How is Virginia? How are you and the family? Everybody good? You good? Thanks for jumping on. I just sent you a note a little bit ago, Eugene, on your Facebook. And the reason we have to go at 20 till is because A, it gets dark here. B, it gets colder when it gets dark here. And C, I have to take Mrs. S to dinner. And since Mrs. S, whose name is Dani, D-A-N-I, since she has made Thanksgiving just phenomenal, I want to make sure she's happy every moment that I can. And taking her out to dinner is just one of the many fun, special things we do. So, that's why we are going to conclude at 5:40 Eastern Standard Time today. So, Nate, you better run out to the track and kick that southbounder hard. Get him on down here, okay? He's not facing anything since everything's red going north, so he should be able to roll on. He might even be our last train of the night. There's the Dalton Freight Depot. And the old Southern Pullman car. Couple folks arriving over at the Crescent City Tavern. Look at the other side of the tracks from where we are. The bungalow for the NS signals. And a look southward. John, Alan, Crash, thanks for all the information and everyone else that y'all share on the channel for everybody. Nate, by the time you're done, you should know all you want to know. Hi, Todd. Uh-oh. Hey, you guys. Boy, you are having a bad day, Nate. The Falcons lost to the Jets. And you missed the Canadian National Units. You're not buying any lottery tickets for me today. Well, that's a little close. Q1 will be after me for that. Hey everybody, I know all of you know this, but as you guys know, there are hundreds of folks that watch our videos, and when we do them live, once we tell them that we are done and we end them here on the screen, so you can see me seeing me, and I can focus from here and do all kinds of cool things like we just did. So once we finish the live and it processes through YouTube, it automatically goes into the category for trackside live for these. So for those of you that watch this in the future, or for those of you that currently might be first time on the channel, you're going to see CSX pass over Norfolk Southern on the diamond. That's the crossover point. Right behind me, CSX is the first track. So on this train that's coming, when you watch the engines of the locomotives, you're going to see them cross over to the left. When you see the end of the train, you'll be able to follow the path where it crosses over to the far side. Right now you see a green on the right, and way down there you see a green on the far left. That's because the CSX track has crossed over and the tower for the engineer to see the signals is now on the far side. So that CSX train coming northbound, we'll see him closest to us on the track, right here on this side of the yellow marker. And he'll go along the siding cars. So it's gonna be a fun time. And again, most of you already know that, but there'll be so many people in the future that watch this, and that will explain to them what's happening. And this will probably be our last train of the day, based upon the timing, because at this location, once it gets dark, it gets dark from where we are on this side. So, everybody, let's listen for that CSX northbound, and I'm going to guess it's the coal train that Alan told us about earlier that was down by Cartersville a while ago. You'll be able to tell it's coming. There is a crossing about a block to the south of us. You'll see the lights for that crossing probably before you hear it. So, CSX northbound coming through downtown Dalton, where 80% of the world's carpet is made within 25 miles of where I'm standing. All right, y'all, let's get ready. No, Todd, for those of you who've just come on, and Todd, I don't have your number, I would have sent you a personal note. Casey is in the air on his way to the Gulf Coast to Mobile for the week. So as a result, there is not a best of the rails catch of the week tonight. So you're stuck with me until 5:40. And for those of you, like I said, we were just talking, right here closest to us, that's the CSX siding, and those are CSX cars that the loco moves around. That track to the left goes past the 99 mile post, crosses over NS right there in the center of your screen, and then goes to the far left on the low side, closest to the old control tower there that you see on the left, and then goes to the left side where the engineer sees the green down on that last signal tower down there by the green dumpster. That's what that's a green dumpster right by the track down there. So our southbound CSX makes a lazy left and then a lazy right. So just connect the green docks and you have the path for our next train. Uh-huh. Oh, cool. right to left, across the diamond. Headed on up to Tunnel Hill, Ringgold, the Bird Cab at the 122.8, on past the Chattanooga Airport, up past Coffey's Cliff, and on over to Waxahachie. CSX Coal Train 3 on the head end. Second back, YN2 308 if I remember correct. So those of you up in Tunnel Hill, he's headed to you next. And Todd, while I got you, I want you to know your train dance worked the other day. When we were over there by that gate. And as John and everybody says, as soon as you turn off that camera, there's going to be a train. And you were right, Todd. You worked so hard on that train dance. I no more and hit stop. And we had horn. So, I want you to know, Todd, your train dance worked. Cremo's busy. They're lined up where they've got their Christmas decorations painted in the windows in the front. If anybody wants to know if it's good or not, just ask John. He'll tell you that place is fantastic. And for those of you just coming on, there is no best of the rails tonight, as Casey is currently in the air on his way for the week to the Gulf Coast, where he is going to be in Mobile, Alabama. I love Mobile. Oh, not only is it the home to Mardi Gras, where Mardi Gras originated, but boy, you talk about good eating. It doesn't get any better than Mobile, Alabama, for eating fresh seafood every way that you can think of. Mrs. S and I love going down there. The old Battle House downtown, great place. Over on the Causeway for dinner, always great. As you can see, the camera's struggling a little bit with getting tuned in. The focus is tough at this. Well, first of all, we have no sun all day, just low cast, cloud cover, fog, damp, kind of cold. But as you can see, sure does make the red lights on the signal towers and signal bridge stand out, where we're going to start wrapping it up here in about 3 more minutes. Anybody got any last minute questions, ideas, news, anything exciting? Let me know. We're going to listen, see if we get a horn coming south, since Nate saw one just a little while ago. And there's a good chance he's sitting just to the north of us, waiting for his clearance to go, since NS can't roll until the CSX is over. And this is a CSX yard, so it's controlled by them, so it's not first come, first serve. It is up to CSX who goes next. So I'm going to grab our sign off the street, start doing a little bit of packing. Well, we're going to listen for a couple moments just in case Nate's southbounder is close by. Hey, Mama Bear, I'm glad you got a day of rest. How's the new store? John, what does GM&O stand for? 25 days to Christmas, Tony. It's going to be here so fast. And John, you're right. As soon as I say time to see y'all at the next crossing and I hit the red circle, there will be another train. Well, everybody, we have horn. Not exactly sure what direction it's coming from. We have such a low cloud cover. There's a good chance, well, the only chance it could be, because we are single track for CSX, so our northbounder The only thing we could have is a NS train waiting to come south. So we're going to listen intently here for a moment before we end the live, because Nate did see a southbound a little while ago up at Apposite, and he's had more than sufficient time to get here and wait. So y'all listen close. I'm going to go ahead and dismantle the extra camera here, so you're all going to wiggle for a moment there. My apologies as I undo this from the side. Beautiful view of the depot all lit up. Well, Todd, I think it's going to be one and done for you. Again, everybody, I hope y'all had a fantastic Thanksgiving 2025. Tomorrow, December 1st, as Tony said, 25 days to Christmas. Don't forget, make sure you tell the one you love how much they mean to you. Give them a huge hug, take them to dinner, buy them a surprise, or just make sure you share fun times together. It's been great. It's been real. It's been real fun. I've had a fantastic evening and afternoon with y'all. Sorry, no catch of the week. Best of the rails tonight. Casey is in the air on his way to Mobile for the week. Mobile, Alabama on the Gulf Coast. He gonna be eating right. I am a little bit jealous. But we'll be back, so keep sending those catch of the week into railmoments.com. We'll see them all next Sunday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. If everything goes right, I hope to see y'all Tuesday. They're forecasting rain tomorrow on the December 1st for starting the new month off. If we can get out, and if it isn't raining, I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to shoot for Tuesday and maybe a road trip on this Wednesday. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. I'm going to guess that horn we heard was our northbound. Like I said, it is a super low cloud cover. It is chilly, but hey, it is so much fun to see y'all. Everybody, have a fantastic night. Make sure I didn't miss any last questions. Boy, are you right. Be warm. I'm not arguing with that one. All right, everybody. See y'all at the next crossing. Thanks, all. Tony, you stay warm up there on the plateau. See y'all in the next day or two. And again, from Casey and I, sincerely, thank you for being with us tonight on Rail Moments. And Todd, there's the new Santa Claus. He doesn't hang very well, but he does light up.